Hello, great to see you again today. It's Teresa Todd here. So today I wanted to, I suppose, discuss with you, see how you're all going, but discuss with you, what's your journey to health? So a lot of my clients come in and they'll talk to me about how they're feeling at the moment. They've got a diagnosis of some kind of illness, usually a chronic illness. But when we go back and when I ask them lots of questions about their life and their history, there's a lot of things that played a part into where they are today. So say if they've got an autoimmune condition at the moment, there is a lot of other issues that we could see happening before that. So it's about having a look at what is it in your life that's contributing to your health or your disease. So that's what I wanted to, I suppose, explain a bit about today, but get you thinking. The primary reason I've come into looking at today is to get you to really think, what is it that you're doing in your life that's contributing to the ill health of where you're at the moment? Hi Rachel, hi Brian, great to see you both there. So what is it that you're doing in your life? How is it that your life has contributed to where you are today in your health or your illness? So illness you don't just wake up one day and suddenly have, hey, I've got an autoimmune condition, or hey, I've got cancer, or hey, I've got arthritis. It's not that you just wake up and suddenly you have it. It's been happening, it's been grumbling, I'm going to call it grumbling there for years. The body has been trying to fix itself and correct itself through through its actions against what you've been doing with your lifestyle. But it's been trying to keep you healthy all these years, and then not all of a sudden, but gradually over time, your body's processes break down. So let's look at that. Let's look at what happens in those kinds of processes. So it could be that what you've been doing has been grumbling for 5 years. Might be 10. I had a client last week who has got 4 diagnosed autoimmune conditions going on. And when we looked at his life and what's been going on, it's been his lifestyle that's been happening for 40 plus years. So what he's been doing and how he's been eating in his life has contributed to where he's at today with those 4 separate autoimmune conditions. And so now it's about unraveling and helping his body to heal itself. But it's not just going, okay, you've got this label, it's autoimmune condition X, and we're going to use this particular herb or this particular treatment, or in the medical realm, they'll use medications. It's not about that. It's looking at what is it? How did you get to this point in your life? So have a think about that. What are you doing in your life? If you have got an autoimmune condition, if you have got some kind of chronic illness, say even arthritis, what have you been doing in your life that's contributed to where you're at now? So let me delve back a little bit. Let me take a step back and talk about what you do in your life and how it impacts on your body. So everything that you eat, everything that you do, everything that you think, the emotions you feel, they all talk to our genetics. So when we talk about genetics, in years gone by, we've all been taught that if your dad died of a heart attack, then you are more inclined to have that heart disease go on in your family. It's actually not the case. Yes, there are genetics that go on with things, but it's not always the case of why you're not going to suddenly have that disease. So for instance, my mum died of Parkinson's dementia. That doesn't mean that I'm going to get Parkinson's in my life. Instead, looking at my genetics, and I've had a look at my genetics and I've done my genetic profile, looking at my genetics, I know what she did wrong or what she should have done differently in her life, what she did that contributed to the Parkinson's and the dementia that went on in her life, because I know how the genes are working. So let's take that step back and let's go, everything that you eat goes into your body and it talks to the bacteria in the digestive system. They talk together, we get nutrients, and those nutrients, the bacteria in the gut, the phytochemicals that are in the food, they all talk to the genetics. Your genes then create proteins, compounds that run your body and help your body to make immune cells, to fix and heal muscle tissue. So all of that happens because of what you're eating and how your body responds to the information that it gets from the food that you're eating. So instead of just wolfing down a burger, for instance, and going, yeah, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat this burger, think about how that burger is going to communicate to your body. What's it telling your body? The phytochemicals, I've spoken before previously in places like this, where phytochemicals actually talk to our genes. And so we've got chemicals like sulforaphane in broccoli that talks to our liver and says, okay, liver, we need to detox a little bit here. Or sulforaphane can help to reduce to help as an anti-cancer kind of agent, reduce the risk of cancer. So those chemicals inside the food actually talk to our genetics and up or down regulate how our genes function. So in saying that, you could speed up a liver detoxification pathway. You could stimulate or inhibit inflammatory pathways that are going on. So create more inflammation in your body. So that's why there's a lot of diets out there that are all about anti-inflammatory diets, because a lot of the foods that we're eating can actually speak to our genes and create inflammation. So what is it in your diet? What are you eating in your diet that's telling you your body how to live? Is your diet based on plants, salad, fruits and veggies that's speaking to your body and saying, this is what the nature is about. These are the nutrients that you need to create health. Or are you eating foods that are primarily processed? And so those processed foods, they come in, especially the artificial sugars, they come in and the body goes, what do I do with this? How do I react? It's telling me one thing, it's telling me that there's a lot of sweetness and abundance out there, but really I can't use this molecule in my chemical reactions. So how do I work with this? So anything that's highly processed or chemically made, so a lot of the preservatives, the additives, those kinds of ingredients that are chemically made, the body goes, I really don't know how to incorporate this into my genes. How is it going to talk to the genetics, and how is it going to facilitate what's happening in the body? And the same goes along with your lifestyle. So we know that exercise, regular activity actually helps with the genetics as well. So it helps to speak to some of the genes, and long-term regular exercise. Not the high intensity, we'll go to the gym today, but we won't go for a couple of weeks, and then we'll go again in 2 weeks' time and do another 2-hour workout. But that regular, consistent exercise actually talks to the genes and helps to reduce inflammation in the body. So what you're doing in your lifestyle, how you're thinking even, so the thoughts that are going on in your mind, they contribute, or they stimulate your genes. So if you're thinking a lot of negative thoughts, you've constantly got negative thoughts going on or stressful thoughts going on, your body reacts as if that's happening right now. Let me give you a scenario. If I've given this scenario before, but do you like skydiving? Would you ever jump out of a plane? I've done it once. It was the best thing in my life. Absolutely loved it, but I wouldn't do it again today. And my family's my reason. Like, I've got 2 little kids now and they're the priority of my life. However, for someone that's scared of skydiving, even the mere thought, if I was to say to you, okay, picture you standing at the edge of the plane about to jump out. And if you've got a fear of that, then your body will react. Your breathing rate will get a lot faster. Your breathing depth will get shallower. Your heart will race. You'll create some of the stress chemicals. And that's all from a thought. You're not standing on the edge of the plane. You're safely in the environment that you're in, sitting in your car, at your desk, at your home. You're sitting in a safe environment. You're not hanging out the edge of a plane. But it's the thought process that actually stimulated the genes to create the stress chemicals. Does that make sense? So your thoughts and what you think every day actually turn on your genes. So if you're thinking a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of stressful thoughts, I've got a massive to-do list, how am I going to get through my day, I don't want to be here, I don't like my work, my partner's annoying me, my boss is annoying me, whoever it is or whatever's happening, in that situation, your body is creating a stressful state. And so the genetics in your body react accordingly. And this over time wears down your body and creates disease, creates ill health. And so it's about what you're doing in your everyday life. What are you telling your body by what you feed it, by what you think, and how you act, or what you do in your life? What are you telling your body your environment's like, and how is it reacting? I still chuckled today. I had one client last year, beautiful client. He was bringing his wife in here for some pain relief therapy that we were doing for her. She was in quite a bit of pain. And he kept saying to me, I need to have a break. I need to have a break. I want to have a break. I want some time off work. I'm overworked, that kind of thing. And all of a sudden he came into me about, I think it was 4 weeks later, he had actually broken his arm and he could no longer work for 8 weeks. He was a handyman. And he couldn't work for 8 weeks because he'd broken his arm quite severely from a fall that he had. So it was almost like he was saying to his body, I need a break, I need a break. And the body went, well, let's break a limb. It's a bit of a stretch with that, but that is what I see happen a lot. A lot of my clients will say, I just need to get to my holiday. Once I'll keep working, I'll keep doing this thing, and then I'll get to my holiday, and then they get sick. They'll get some kind of cold, flu, or an infection, something that will make them sick, and they're too tired to enjoy their holiday. And so their body kept them going until that point that it could stop. So everything that you do in your lifestyle, everything that you eat, everything that you think contributes to your health or ill health. And these things go on for years. It's like I said before, it's not that you just wake up suddenly and go, hey, I've got this disease. Your body's been trying to manage the processes, whether it be nutritional deficiency, whether it be toxicity from too many processed compounds in your foods, whether it be a low-grade infection that's been around, like Epstein-Barr, that's been around for years. Those kinds of things quietly erode away at your health, and you don't quite know what's happening. But you might get little, what I call white flags. The body will put up a white flag and go, hey, I need you to change. I need something to change. So you might get recurrent illnesses where you get an infection, you get better for a week or two, and then you get sick again, and that happens for several months. You might get migraines. You might get headaches. You might get skin rashes and like dermatitis, eczema, those kinds of things. You might get digestive symptoms such as bloating, wind, and just put it down as something you ate, but it's recurrent there and it's all the time. These kinds of symptoms, what I call the white flag, I can see in a lot of my clients for years before the actual disease comes about. So when I go back and I ask them a lot about their life and what they've been doing and what they were doing in say the span of the last 10 years, depending on how long this disease has been around for or what's been going on, I will ask them about what's been going on for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 40 years. And in that process, you'll see a lot of what I call white flags showing up before they get the disease condition being diagnosed. And if they were aware of what was happening with their body beforehand, they would be able to change their life back at that stage. So say they were getting recurrent infections, lots of aches and pains, they were getting migraine, something like that, they would be able to go, hang on, what in my life is not in balance? Where do I need to make changes to help my health for the better? And at that moment, if it was you that was doing this, if you were looking at your life, you'd be able to go, okay, I'll decrease the amount of sugar in my diet. I'll opt for more salad, fruits, and the veggies. I'll make sure that my diet has 80% of this salad, fruits, and the veggies to really fuel my genetics. I'll make sure that I decrease my alcohol. I'll make sure that I drink plenty of water. All of those little minor changes actually add up to a lot in the body and actually help with your health. So what is it in your diet and lifestyle that you could look at, that you could modify and change? Are you getting those niggly little pains? Are you getting migraines? Are you getting headaches? Do you just not feel 100%? You wake up tired going, I've just got to push myself through the day again. All of these little symptoms are your body going, hey, I'm just not functioning properly. Because when your body is functioning well and you're at 100% with your health, you feel amazing, you feel vital, you've got clarity of thought, you find that you can deal with stress a lot easier. All of these things are actually your body feeling good and functioning at 100% of where it should be. So like I said before, my mum passed away several years back of Parkinson's dementia. And when I look back at her life in the years leading up, I can identify what she was doing in her life that contributed to that. So towards the end, we found she was B12 deficient. So she was low in B12. And what happened was she was not eating meat, and that's fine. There's no reason that you have to eat meat, but she wasn't making sure she was getting the B12 from anywhere else. So she wasn't supplementing, she wasn't having any other B12 foods, such as the eggs or other dairy kinds of products. And instead she was opting for a lot of sugar. So she would have a lot of ice cream. She loved her ice cream. She would have, she would snack on potato crisps or potato chips on the way home from work. And so she would fill up on those non-nutritive foods that was changing the bacteria levels of her digestive system, so she couldn't manufacture or make any B12. And then she wasn't getting any B12 because she wasn't eating the foods that contained B12. And also at that time, she was quite stressed with the job she was in. It was a very stressful job. She'd work through her lunch, she wouldn't eat. She took the job very personally, as she did. She was an amazing woman like that. She did everything to the 110th%. But that stress that it created on her, she had trouble disconnecting from that. So her body was running on low nutrition, not enough B12, which fuels the nerves, not enough essential fats because she wasn't eating anything that had the good fats in there. And her diet was very restrictive and very deplete in what she should have been eating. And when I look at, like I said before, I've done my genetic profile, so I know what my genes are and how I can influence them from what I eat and what I exercise, all of that kind of thing. Looking at my genetics, I know that she would have had a substantial portion of those genes because my genes came from her. And so looking at her life, I know that these things led up to her ultimate diagnosis that ended up taking her life, which is a shame, because if we had have been able to change that previously, we could have circumvented all of those kinds of things. So my question to you is, what can you change in your life? What can you do for yourself to make sure that you harness health? Do you listen to your body's everyday aches and pains or everyday little symptoms that go on? I'm not saying become overly sensitive to that. If you've got a sore knee today and you go, oh no, I've got a sore knee, something's happening. It's not to that whole process, but it's about going, hey, I've got a sore knee. What have I done? Did I do an extra exercise yesterday that could have caused my sore knee? Or did I step in a pothole yesterday that could have caused that? Or if it's there and it's niggling there for a few days, address it. Find out what's happening. Look at your diet. Are you eating too much sugar? Are you eating too many processed foods? Are you getting enough of the good quality foods that will actually talk to your genetics and prevent disease and help prevent disease? Are you eating those salad fruits and the veggies in your diet? Are you getting enough of the good fats? Again, they talk to our genetics. Are you helping harness the good bacteria of the digestive system? The good bacteria of our gut, actually, there's more cells of them than there are cells of us, and they create a lot of chemicals that speaks to our genes. So loving your gut is a great way to really help your health and boost your health up. I hope I've been able to give you some thought processes of what you can do in your life. Just look at what your body's doing, look at how your body's reacting, and then from there make informed choices from where you can go from there. If you ignore these symptoms and these signs that are going on, you don't get to make any informed choices. So just be aware of your body and how it's happening. And then from there, that will be able to help you avoid disease. Or if you have got disease or ill health, you can then choose to make changes in turning it around. Remembering that the body responds to, the genetics in your body responds to what you eat, what you think, and how you live. So making positive changes to those three things, to what you eat, how you think, and how you live, putting a little bit of exercise in. There's some studies out there that are showing 30 minutes of exercise 5 times a week, walking 5 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes decreases the risk of all disease by 50%. That's a huge percentage, just walking. Take the dog out for a walk, go down the beach and enjoy walking with a friend or family member and just enjoy that scenery. Doing that regularly can actually help to reduce your risk, like I said, of all disease. And that's pretty substantial. So my challenge to you for today, can you listen to what your body's telling you? Are you ready to listen to what your body's saying and how it's living, or how it's reacting to how you're living? Can you make some minor changes and make those minor changes habits and lifelong so that your body can live to its fullest? That's my challenge for you. If you need help with that, I'm always willing to help out. Just send me a comment or a private message. I'd love to help you out with that. But being aware of your body and what the symptoms are, and then making those I call it fine-tuning adjustments in your life, in your mental state, in your emotions, and in your diet. Making those fine-tuning changes lifelong habits. That's the best way to live. So I hope I've been able to challenge your thinking today and open a door so that you can take control of your own health. I look forward to hearing what you have to think about this. Please post some comments below. If it's afterwards, I'll come back, and if it's after the live, I'll come back and I'll read those posts and read those comments and get back to you. It's been great connecting with you all today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.